mind I'm going, I want you guys to look on page 41, activity 2. You get your books on page 41, activity 2. We need somebody to read the opening paragraph where it says to calculate the. Okay, so hopefully you've read that part about the different types of lotteries that there are. Powerball is a good example of that. There are a number of different lotteries. Use this kind of an application to figure out probabilities. In the exploration, what we're going to do today is by counting the number of outcomes in small sample spaces, you might observe some patterns that you could determine the size of large sample spaces. So for example, we're going to say, suppose we have 3 numbers to pick from, okay? So if we have 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3, all right, and we want to know, well, how many different sets of just one number or a single, as our table shows, that you're going to be writing down here in a little bit. So if we want to know how many singles that is, then we would have 1, 2, 3, okay, because we have 1, 2, and 3. Those are the only singles that we would have. All right, from those 3 numbers. Pairs meaning 2. So if we listed out all the pairs, we'd have 1, 2, 1, 3, and 2, 3. So again, we'd have 1, 2, 3 different types of pairs that we could have for 3 numbers. All right. If we talked about triples, then we'd only have 1, 2, and 3. So that would just be 1. So for singles, for 3, we have 3, 3, and 1. Alright? That's what it wants you to talk about. So, what I want you to do is take this chart, this table here, and write this down in your notes. Alright? So we have the numbers for the lotteries going down the side here. The number of singles, pairs, triples, quads, quintuples, and sixes, sextets, of numbers that you could have. Alright, so put that down to your notes. Okay, so pause. So hopefully you filled in this, you figured out, you put your table down. Alright, so now what you want to do is figure out, as a class, I want you to look at how many different singles you get from the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and how many different singles you get from the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not only do I want you to do singles, but I want you to do pairs, triples, quads, and pairs and 5. Okay, so quintuplets. So however many different numbers you could get for 4, how many different sets of numbers you could get for 5. So at your tables, you should be working on that. Best strategy would be to list them out. I know it seems like there's going to be a lot of them, but you're not duplicating anything. So for example, here, 1 and 3 is 1 pair. I wouldn't include 3 and 1 because I've already got that. 1 and 3, I don't need to include 3 and 1 so you don't duplicate anything. So take a few minutes and figure out those numbers and we'll come back to it. Okay, so pause again. Alright, so hopefully you figured out the numbers for each one of these. So for the number of singles, alright, we already figured that out over there, so we know that there's 3 here. So I'm going to put 3 in this one. Okay? I know there's 3 pairs, I'm going to put 3 in this one, and I know that there's 1 triple, 1, 2, 3. So we did 3s already. They gave us 2 and they gave us 1. Alright, so the number of singles, you should have got 4. The number of pairs, you should have got 6. The number of triples, you should have got 4. And the number of quads, you should have got 1. Alright, if you didn't see that, I listed them out here. So here's the number of singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 of them. Here's the number of pairs. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. That gives us 6. The number of triples for 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. That gives us 4. And of course the number of quads, there's just 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so if we go back to our table, Again, that's where those numbers came from. Now 5, if you got 5, that's great. If you didn't, you should start to see some patterns coming here. Obviously, this pattern right here is an easy one to see. Okay? This pattern here is an easy one to see. It's these middle 3 here that are a little bit more difficult. You might not be able to see those right away. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill this in. You should have got 10 here, 10 here, and 5 here. So some patterns start to emerge. You should be able to see them. Obviously, again, you're probably seeing this one. Okay, that's an easy one to see. You should see this one. Of course, this would be one here also if we had this one. And this would be one here. So there's always going to be ones right across this thing. Oops. Alright. The question is what are these numbers in here going to be? Alright, so we want to start looking for patterns. So see if you take a couple of minutes and see if you can find any patterns for that, and then we'll come back to it. So pause it. Hopefully you found some patterns. Right here we're going to have a 20 and a 20. Oops, no, sorry, this one's wrong. Oops, that's not 20. That's 15. This is 20. And this is 15. And this is 6. You can see there's some symmetry going on. There's a 6 here, there's a 6, 5, 5, 4, 4. Hopefully that's one of the patterns you've seen. If that's the case, then you know there's 7 here. You can see the numbers going down the side here. You know this is going to be 8. Okay. Here, this number here is going to be 21. Alright. So how are we getting these numbers? Well, again, there's a number of different patterns. For one thing, you might notice that the difference between these two numbers here is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this difference is going to be 7, so that would be 28. That's one pattern that exists. Okay. Another pattern that exists, not so evident here, 3, 6, 10. But you look at this 3, 6, 10, that's just these numbers here. 3, 6, 10. So all we have to do is say, okay, so if this differs by 3, this by 6, and this by 10, to come over and notice that this one's going to be 15 different, so that's going to be 35. Okay. So what about here? Not so evident. 1 to 4, that's 4 difference. 10 difference, 1, 4, 10. Oh, so that means if I take 20 and 15, I get this one. And same thing's going to happen here. 6 and 15 is going to be 21. So, to get these numbers, what we're doing is looking at the previous one. So if I come up here, let's say we use some red. To get this number here, I'm going to take these two, add them to get that one. These two add to get this one. These two add to get this one. These two are going to add to get those ones. So let's fill that in. So this is going to be 56. This is going to be a 70. And this is going to be a 56 again because of the symmetry. And this is going to be a 28 again because of the symmetry. And an 8 and 1. Alright. What you want to do with your table is probably carry it out to 9 different rows so that you'll be able to use it on your assignment and stuff. So make sure you go ahead and do that, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, bye.